pointing for those who want to. Okay, here we are again. I'm Stacy. So welcome, you guys. This is the one thing that changes everything. We're going to talk about how to live your life more happy, satisfied, and fulfilled. And here's my assistant jumping up here. She wants to get in on the action. Okay. And let's see. Someone's trying to come in. Okay, so one thing that changes everything. This is the how to live with less stress and more joy. This is a little bit about me, just to kind of give you guys an idea. Some of you may not know me personally. Some of you may know me very well. I am, again, Stacy Yardley. I am an empowerment coach. I work with women primarily to help them shift their mindset and to empower them to love themselves holistically, fully, and just really reach their highest potential. A little bit of background on me. I was certified in 2016 with IPEC, which is the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching. It's a little bit of a mouthful, which is why we say IPEC. And it is an ICF certification. So it's a coaching federation, International Coaches Federation. And so that just basically means I know how to coach. I'm not someone who's going to, just tell you I'm a guru and all of that. This is about empowering you to make your best choices for you. I'm also a Zumba fitness instructor, currently not right now because of COVID. And been doing that since 2010, took a break there for several years, but just recently returned back to it. And then I work with, in the capacity, I work with one-on-one clients, group coaching, and then I also facilitate circles. So that's just a little bit about me. My daughter, they're my two kids, basically. My daughter is the human down here on the bottom right. She is 17 going on 18. I love her to death. Getting ready to go to college. And then my other daughter, my fur baby, some of you probably have some of those. That's Maddie, who just made a little appearance in there. And that's my hair before I let my gray grow out. So kind of fun to see that. Okay, so let's get busy on this. So this is the fast lane. So where are you? We're talking about the fast lane tonight. And when I say FAST, it's an acronym. This is regarding frustrated, anxious, stressed, and tired. How to escape the fast lane. So I'm going to help you, empower you, give you some information here that you can take tonight. My goal here for you tonight is that you will get this information and apply it right away. It's going to be interactive here in just a few minutes. And I want to empower you to have this information so that you can apply it right away. So what are some fast lane stats? 87% of workers worldwide are emotionally disconnected from their workplace and less likely to be productive. Also, one thing I wanted to mention too, if you guys have any questions along the way, put them in the chat. I will be checking that periodically through our thing here. Hopefully I can figure out the technology piece of it here. Usually I have an assistant helping me, so we'll figure it out. Anyway, so frustrated. So this is an area where a lot of us don't really realize that we're living in a lot of the time, especially now, right? With what's going on with COVID and all the things with masks and all that, you can get frustrated very, very quickly with their circumstances. And this is in 2013, you guys. So this is a stat that is old. So it says 90% of the world's workers are frustrated, and I think it's probably pretty high at the moment for a lot of people. As far as anxiety, 40 million adults suffer from this, 18 years and older suffer from anxiety. A lot of that going on right now, right? With so much uncertainty, our minds just go crazy and it gets us spun up and going really fast, really quick. We can spiral. And then stress. 49% say that they've had major stressful events experienced in the past year. I would say pretty much 100% at the moment, right? Have experienced some sort of stressful event this year in 2020. Some of us have overlapping layers upon layers crushing in as far as stressful events happening. And that's why I wanted to do this, was to help you guys in the moment, to help you, empower you to get some tools to be using. So this is just, again, some summary. We've, because of all this frustration, anxiety, stress, people are tired, there's chronic sleep issues. If you're somebody who has health issues, this is affected through what we're going to talk about tonight in regards to the energy leadership. But everything that you think, everything you feel is going to affect you in a way that it can really affect your health. And you know, this is evident. We have poor sleep happens when we're in the fast lane. We get headaches and blood pressure problems, diabetes, all kinds of stuff, autoimmune diseases, all kinds of stuff. And then you've got people falling asleep at the wheel, right? People dozing off at their computers because they're just exhausted. So it's not fun being in the fast lane, right? So what about you? We're gonna do a quick analysis here. So here's where we're gonna get a little interactive. You can either write this down if you have somebody, have something in your hand, or if you have a notepad or something, or you can just type it in the comments. That would be even better for me to see. If you have, what I want to talk about is frustration first. Frustration is the feeling of being upset or annoyed, especially because of the inability to change or achieve something. So on a level of 1 to 10, your frustration right now, where is your frustration on a scale of 1 to 10, and what causes the frustration for you? Let's check out the chat here. So pop them in there. A 9, Julie. Okay, so what is it around this that's causing the frustration? What are you frustrated about? If you guys feel like sharing that, I'd love to hear that. Work, I'm off the clock and still working. Yes, that's a frustrating thing for sure. Especially when you're not being paid for it, right? Yeah, you can just talk. That would work too. You want to unmute yourself? Here, I'll unmute you.
Sorry, it's a bit of a long story. That's why I was. Yeah, I was technically off work at 5, but I'm still troubleshooting a phone problem, and it's our emergency call-in line, so it is very important. And I'm very technically oriented, so somehow these become my duties, even though they shouldn't be. And I get very frustrated when I say to people, your phone is forwarding somewhere strange. How did you forward it? I forwarded it remotely. No, that doesn't tell me anything. How did you forward it? You know, and we have that conversation back and forth 15 times now.
Right.
So I want to pull my hair out right at, and I'm sorry because I have to finish this up and figure out. I have 3 different people now working on this problem.
For sure. Yeah, that's definitely frustrating, Julie. And I think this is going to help you a lot when we go through this.
Yes.
I think it's going to help you. So I would love to check in with you on the end after this to see how it helps for you. Thank you for sharing that, Julie. Anybody else want to pop in, unmic yourself? You can just say me and share anything that you're frustrated with at the moment. Melissa is saying not being able to feel like I'm accomplishing the small tasks needed to get done. My anxiety is shot up. It's affecting my health, relationships, and pretty much everything, right, Melissa? You're not alone, my friend. This is happening to a lot of people right now, especially they're feeling the collective energy, their own energy, all of it. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight is energy. Okay, so frustration, anxiety is the next thing. So where are you? Oh, Katie, let's see really quick back on the frustration. Things in life cannot control. Yes, because of COVID regulations. Wedding is on hold. Oh, what a bummer. Cannot travel to see your mom who's ill. Yeah, 5. Okay, that's pretty good for all those things. Like those are some pretty big things, but you might be higher on the stress or other things too, right? Or the tired. So, but yeah, that's a lot, Katie, and it's frustrating that where a lot of this is out of our control. And that's, again, what we're going to talk about tonight. When things are out of your control, what is in your control? The social media addiction, Amanda says. Yeah. So what about anxiety, you guys? What's causing you anxiety? And where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Excuse me, anxiety can be defined as a feeling of worry, nervousness, or typically an imminent event that you're worried about something that's happening in the future and not sure how to handle it, right? You start spinning out in your mind over what's going on. So pop in the comments there. Anastasia's trying to homeschool 4 kids. Oh my gosh, with a baby. That's a lot. That's definitely a lot. And where are you on these scales? You're on a 5 on that? Okay. Julie, anxiety disorder. I'm used to it, but finding that being home so long is triggering. Okay, yeah. Agoraphobia. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the stuff is triggering a lot of people in a lot of different ways. You are not alone. Stress. Stress is a state, this is probably where most people are sitting right now on a high level, because it's a state of mental and emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. So what we've been going through over the last several months is definitely stress inducing, which is kind of crazy because here we're talking about we're in the fast lane, but everyone's at home and like it doesn't seem like we're in the fast lane. It seems like things are slowing down, right? But they're not when it comes to frustration, anxiety, stress, and being tired. So where are you in your level of stress? What causes you stress? So this is different from anxiety and frustration, right? This is just an overall mental state or emotional state that you're in consistently. Melissa says, being alone so much, I need people to walk with, help with my resume. I was supposed to have knee surgery and it's been postponed due to COVID. So now postponed due to being hit by a car. Man, 10. She's at a 10 on the emotional triggers. Yeah, I feel for you, Melissa. It's a lot. We got a lot going on, a lot coming at us. And again, a lot of it's out of our control, right? Anyone else want to pipe in here on your stress level? Julie said a 6, was supposed to have eye surgery. Yeah, a lot of surgeries are getting postponed, right? Things are blurry sometimes, yeah. That could be frustrating and stressful, especially when you need to work and you're on a computer all the time. Yeah. Okay, and then the last one is tired. Now all of these, the frustration, the anxiety, and the stress take such a toll that it then makes you tired. It can create high levels of cortisol, high levels of adrenaline, and when your body's working that hard and it's pumping out all those stress chemicals, it can make you tired because you're going into fight or flight consistently, and it can really wear you out. So what causes you to feel tired? Not having enough coffee, not getting enough sleep. And where are you on this level of 1 to 10? Not sleeping well, waking up in the middle of the night, can't go back to sleep. Yes, that's been happening to me periodically as well. I got to pull my phone out and put on a meditation app, something to get me lulling myself back to sleep. I'm about a 4. Amanda, like an 8 on the tired. I'm not getting to bed when I plan to. Yeah, that can take a toll for sure, for sure, for sure. And there's something it's hard to catch up, right? We think, I know Katie, my friend Katie that's on this call, has talked about that, where we can't really catch up from sleep. Once we lose it, we lose it. It's just a matter of gaining our bearings from there. Okay. All right, so let's imagine for a moment all those things that were making you tired, stressed out, anxious. What would life be like if you weren't in the fast lane? What would life be like if you weren't stressed out? How would it feel? Where would you be? What does it take to get there? That's what we're going to talk about. Okay, this is what I wanted you to come on this call for, this class, to show you, to teach you how you can start shifting out of some of these things. Okay, let's see real quick with the notes here. Melissa's saying she's overwhelmed, personal relationships, 9 on the tired, trying to hang, set good healthy boundaries. Yep, that's good. Then being told those are, well, of course they're unreasonable to other people because they want you to not have them, right? So they're going to back up against that. Julie says it would be peaceful and exciting to not have these things, right? The feeling would be blissful, as Amanda said, or Melissa said. Maybe go on a date, yes. Melissa has her hand raised. Melissa, go ahead and unmute yourself. You have a question or... Oh. Wait, you're still muted. Okay. Are you there?
Yeah, the healthy boundaries thing. Like for me, having to keep telling somebody that this is where I'm at with something, to me is exhausting.
I see. Yes. Yeah, and it can be, right? Because with practice, it can get better. So in the way of exhausting, it's exhausting because it creates for you an energetic effort. Is that what you're saying? Like
It's like
taking.
it's like blatantly not adhered to unless I do something that would make them feel uncomfortable, like ask them to leave my home.
And that you're saying that that's hard for you to ask them to leave. It takes a
No,
lot of energy out of you.
No, I had to do that in order to make them understand that this boundary has to be accepted or you get out.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is tiring to not have the boundary, you mean, or to set the boundary?
To set the boundary and have it be really small, and then have it to be acted like it's so unreasonable when it's not.
Right.
But
Okay. So what I'm hearing there.
Respect me in my home, be respectful in my home, and also if you're going to be here, just please be as quiet as possible if you're going to stay the night on the couch when I'm being kind and letting you, because you need a place to crash.
Right. Right. Yeah. And it can be exhausting in the way, and we're going to get into this energetically and how you're perceiving that incident. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be really good for you, because this is what's going to help you understand how that experience or circumstance, how you're approaching it, the lens that you're looking at it through. So I hear what you're saying, and you're right. It can be exhausting depending on how you're approaching it. So
Yeah.
as we get through this, definitely let me know if this is helpful to you, because I think it will help. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So how do we do this? How do we get where we are, right? So it starts with our belief systems. And some of this may be, if you've been any part of the development world, the personal development world, this may be like, oh yeah, I know all this. It's review for you, which is great. Some of you, it may be brand new information. But what I hope to do is, even if it's familiar to you, is to present it in a way that, that kind of clicks some new things for you. Okay, so our beliefs form our lives, our beliefs and our core values. This makes up who we are and how we move through the world, basically, and how we operate in the world and how we show up. And a lot of times we don't really understand that it's coming from a belief system. And so sometimes a transformational change, we think it's a surface level thing, but it's actually deeper. It's dialed in more into your belief systems. And what controls our belief is our thoughts, or our thoughts control, or excuse me, our beliefs control our thoughts control our feelings, and our feelings create our actions. So what I mean by this is, if you are in a space where you're getting triggered all the time, or you're getting, you're having these experiences where you're getting frustrated and you're getting stressed, it's your thoughts that are creating these emotions in you. Now, you can shift the thoughts, but it might keep recurring and recurring and recurring until you actually shift your belief system, because the belief is the underlying factor in all of it. But it's important to know if you're achieving the results or not achieving the results that you want. It's because of what you are feeling and what you are thinking. You can always dial it back to what you are thinking. And I personally don't believe or feel that people are broken. I believe their thinking is broken, that we just have broken thoughts and our patterns that are created. I believe we're whole beings and we just get wounded along the way. So definitely have some wounding happening, but that doesn't mean you are not worthy nor not whole as a person, as a being. So it's important to understand that everything is energy. Okay, and that's what this is about. This is energy leadership. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. This is a lot around, you'll hear this kind of talk around energy of the law of attraction when it comes to attracting what you want. And how I want you to look at it is more about where you're resonating. Okay, because we are made up of energy. Our thoughts are frequencies. This is fact. Okay, they've proven this out. And wherever you are on your frequency level is how you're going to experience the world. And this is what when you hear like attracts like, it's all physics. Okay, and so it's not philosophy, it's physics. It's a true fact that wherever you are in your energy level is what you will experience within your world. Okay, there's two types of energy. This is where we're getting into more of this topic. Okay, anabolic and catabolic energy. This is all comes from IPEC, again, from the training that I went through Bruce Schneider, who founded the school back 20 some years ago. And we're going to talk more about the Energy Leadership Index, and that's where this comes from. But for today's sake, we're going to think of it as anabolic energy and catabolic energy. When you're in anabolic energy, you're open and you're expanded, and you're ready to just be constructive. This is where intuition plays. This is where you're open and opportunity is all there. Catabolic energy is more draining and resisting energy. It's it's down, it breaks away. So when you're feeling stressed and you're feeling tired and you're feeling all these things, those are catabolic energies that are in you. And we know this, right? We know that our physical bodies or the emotions that the energy or the chemicals that are being created in there break down our physiological systems. They cause heart attacks, they cause strokes, they cause high blood pressure, all those things. That's all catabolic energy. So this is one reason why we want to raise our energy levels, and we want to get more into an anabolic state more often and raise our resonating level. And that's what's important to understand, is that we all have energy. And as we go through this, you're going to see yourself in different areas in here. We all have the energy going through us, but it's really a matter of how conscious are you in what energy you're currently in and how you're showing up, and are you choosing to be in that energy? Okay, so this is how are we doing so far? Any questions? Go ahead and pop them in here. Okay, so Melissa, she has a question. So if you tend to attract alcoholics that are disrespectful and you're not a drinker. Okay, so not necessarily it's around the drinking, Melissa, but it's more around, probably there's a lot going on here. But if you have codependency in your background, if there was codependency or abuse or any kind of dysfunction in your family, that can cause codependency. And that can cause kind of that rescuer, fixer complex, where like someone's in trouble and I'm the fixer, or I have a heart. And a lot of times it can come out like I am only doing it because I want to help people, and I'm being kind and I'm being helpful and I'm empathic and I can feel their feelings and I can really see into them and all these things. But they're the type that are going to, it can feel like opposites attract, but really you're in a frequency that you're going to attract them because you're believing that to be. And this is going to help you as we go through this. You might see a little bit more, okay? So this is the energetic self-perception chart. And this is the 7 levels of energy. And like I said, we all have these energies within us. And I know you can see it, like if any of you are into the chakra system, right? Our energy system, our core energies. This is not that. So we're not talking about you're going from your root chakra up into your crown chakra. We're not going, this is not what this is. You might see some similarities if you know a lot about the chakras and like how they work, but this is definitely not around that. This is more about core energy. And what core energy comes from is your core thought and your core emotions, okay? So again, it's coming from who you're being, who you are as an energetic person in your belief system, because your beliefs are going to drive your thoughts and your emotions. So in this chart, we're gonna break these down one by one, but in this chart, you can see that you have the outside circle is the self-transcendent, but let's start in the inside circle. This is where the self is. Okay, this is where we see ourselves. This is when we're in ego a lot. We're unconscious in this space of this self, is levels 1 and 2. Outside circle, the middle circle, you're going to see you're in strong ego here. This is where self-mastery starts to become, awareness starts to happen. You're seeing things like, oh, I'm aware of this, I'm aware of that. And you're able to choose more of where you're feeling and how you're being. And then the outside circle is self-transcendence. This is full consciousness. This is no ego. This is where we all would love to be, but most of us are really operating down in self most of the time, or somewhere in the middle there. And so that's what I'm going to show you here. Now, in these energies, it's important to know that you can have you will have an average resonating level. And what that means is where you resonate on an average. So you can be down in levels 1 and 2 a lot and only hitting up in levels 5 and 6 periodically. And maybe so your average level might be like a 2.9, right? So depending on where you are and you're resonating, and again, you're not going to stick into one place. You're going to fluctuate throughout these. It's just a matter of where are you hanging out the most. And that's what we want to check within ourselves. Where are we hanging out and where do we want to go? This is consciousness. Okay, so here's where we, yes, Amanda, I can send you. Yes, it's okay if you screenshot. Okay, so this is, and I'll send you guys a replay of this as well. So you don't have to worry, too much if you want to go back and watch this again or share it with somebody. Okay, so levels 1 and 2. This is where we are again in self, apathy and anger. This is where the majority of people right now, and all the time, but a lot of people you're seeing this, are hanging out. They're hanging out here, especially if you go on social media. You will see an abundance of this. And as you go through this, you're going to see this. So level 1 is the victim energy. Now you might say, well, I've done my work. I'm not a victim. And you're right. If you've done your work, you can get out of the victim mindset. However, that doesn't mean you don't have any victim energy. We all have this. Again, it's a matter of how quickly you're able to see it, identify it, and shift out of it. If it's conscious or if it's unconscious. And a lot of times this can be unconscious when you don't really realize. Someone says, hey, how are you? Oh, you should just, don't even ask. It's such a loaded question. Like, you wouldn't believe what happened to me today, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And you just rattle down the list, and you're at the effect, right? You're at the effect of life happening to you. This is victim energy. So if you're somebody who's like, everything's always happening so crappy for me, like, why is this always happening to me? That is level 1 energy. Okay. So you're going to think thoughts of victim energy, you're going to feel thoughts of apathy, and you're going to be lethargic. This is the I can't get motivated, I suck, like the self-deprecation that comes on in here. All those things are going to be deflated. You're going to be problem focused, a lot of indecisiveness, crisis mode, right? Like we go into crisis mode. This is an I lose energy, like you win, I lose. Okay. Level 2 is in conflict. This is a conflict energy. This is a battling energy. This is where a lot of people are right now. You need to wear a mask. No, I don't. Don't tell me what to do. All these things that we're seeing right now, a lot of this energy going on, right? Making somebody wrong and you're right. So I win, you lose. There's anger here, and then there's defiance. Okay, and there's controlling actions going on here, right or wrong, black and white thinking. Again, you're right, I'm wrong. Micromanaging, all the stuff, right? Okay, let's see. Amanda says, I feel like I've been in and out of crisis mode since COVID started. Yes, you are not alone, my friend. Many, many, many people, myself included at times, have felt this way, okay, or feel this way. So don't fret, this is happening. But this is the thing, awareness is the first step, right? When we're aware of something, we can change it. If we're not aware of it, we can't change it. Levels 3, 4, and 5. This is forgiveness, compassion, and peace. Now, one thing to understand, these are the core feelings, right? And the core thoughts. There's a lot of emotions in here besides just forgiveness and compassion and peace, right? There's a lot of emotions between forgiveness and compassion. There's gratitude. There's, a lot of different emotional states that you can be in. These are just kind of the core feeling, right? So the core being of that energy. Level 3 is the rationalizer, or the tolerator. So let me ask you, what are you tolerating right now in your life? It's like, well, it's not great. It's okay. It's good enough. I'll tolerate it. Like I'm tolerating it. Like I can justify it. Like, yeah, I don't like it, but blah, 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 right? Like, yeah, I could go get a job, but I'm on unemployment and that's pretty good. So I don't really feel motivated to go do that. I think I'm all right, right? That can be like a level 3. So there's some victim energy and some level 2 energy in here. But in these other 2 levels, you're going to have, like I said, these levels 1 and 2, these are catabolic. These are totally catabolic energies. They're very collapsing, very constrictive energies. When you get into the level 3, you still have those energies in there, but you're opening up a little bit more. So there is some anabolic energy here, but there's still some catabolic energy weighing it down. The important thing to know too about these energy levels, you guys, is that I don't want you to think of them as good or bad, okay? Because every energy level has its positives and negatives, in the sense of a victim energy can work to serve us in ways maybe we don't particularly want to be served in that way, but it can serve us. If we want to be a victim, we can play a victim mindset and energy to get somebody to do something that we want them to do, right? We can, my back hurts, I really need a back rub. Oh, I'll do that for you, okay? That's kind of that manipulated energy of like, play hurting, play sore, and then somebody can help you. The core thought here is responsibility. So this is the level 3 is the energy level that we start to say, okay, wait a minute, I can do something about this. Like, how do I want to approach this? What I want to do? What's good here for me to change here? And then cooperation. So this is the good enough thinking, rationalization, like I said, your response ability. Okay, so again, your response ability. So when somebody has responsibility, they have the ability to respond rather than react. You're going to react when you're in level 1 and 2 because you're at the effect of your environment or of your circumstance. When you are in choice of where you want your energy to go, you are no longer at the effect, you are at cause. So you get to decide if you're going to be at the effect of things and circumstances around you, or if you're going to be at cause. This is consciousness, okay? So this is the I win, and if you win, that's okay too. So level 1 is I win, you lose. Or level 1, excuse me, is I lose, you win. Level 2 is I win, you lose. And level 3 is I win, if you win, that's okay too. I just realized I don't have my notes with me that I was going to do earlier, so let me just grab these really here. Any questions so far on these energies? Are you seeing yourself in these energies? I'm curious about that. Are you seeing areas where you're like, oh, that's me, I do that. I think I'm there more than I want to be. Whoops. Anyone? I'm just looking for something really quick here, but I might not be able to find it, and that's okay. Oh, I found it. Perfect. Okay. Sorry. I just want to be able to say this at the end here. So, anxiety and not taking actions when I needed to. Look for a job. You've been feeling stuck. I know I'm more capable of this. Yes, you are. How to get out and move forward. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. Well, I thought I found it, but I didn't. Whatever. Moving on. The caregiver. So level 4. Now we're up in our anabolic energy. Okay. So when you're in level 4, this is an area where you see a lot of like nurses, counselors, coaches, massage therapists, Reiki practitioners, people that are in service. They really want to help people. So they have a lot of compassion and concern for other people. And they're in service a lot, right? They're out there to help people. But you can be in fix-it mode here. You can be helping and putting other people's first. This is an you win. It's not about me. It's totally about you. And I'm not going to try to win it all here. This is totally about a you win situation. Okay. And like I said, all of these levels can have a positive effect, but they can also have a negative effect. So the other thing to also remember is that one action can have two different energies propelling it or driving it. Okay, so what you're doing, what people are doing on the outside can look the same, but it can be different things propelling it, right? So like a level 4 energy can look like someone helping somebody just to help them genuinely. They just want to help them. They want them to win, end of story. Someone else might be helping them to make themselves feel good. So like, well, I don't feel good unless I'm helping somebody else. And I suck unless I'm not helping somebody else. Like I'm doing it to get for it and to make myself feel better. That's coming more from a victim energy, right? It's not really happening. It's kind of more about you and not as much about just the other person. Codependent can be a fixer. Yes, indeed, for sure. Opportunist is level 5. So when you're at level 5, this is the reconciliation. The thought is reconciliation. You're more at peace. You more have acceptance about what's going on. You can be very discerning in this energy. You're going to see opportunities. This is the land of like, what's the possibility? Where's the opportunity here? Life is happening for me. Like I get to decide, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? How do I want to do this? Versus it's happening to me, right? This is again where you're at cause. This is a holistic, a true win-win here. So when people are looking for the win-win, or we both win or we don't play, that's a level 5 energy. And you can feel into this, right? You can listen to what I'm telling you, and you can feel as we're going through this, like what it feels like to see opportunity and possibility versus I got no choices. I got nothing happening here. What am I going to do? I'm screwed, right? You can just feel the weight of that energy come back in as a level 1. So again, level 5 is the opportunist. Level 6 and 7. So this is where we get into the really good, juicy stuff here. I love this energies, these energy levels. Synthesis and non-judgment. Okay, so level 6 is going to be the visionary. This is where I see a lot of people that they can be in this space, like these levels 4, 5, and 6 quite often. But as soon as stress comes in or an event comes in that impacts them, they're like, woof, and they drop down into levels 1 and 2. They don't stay in this place of like, okay, let's find joy in this moment. Like everything happens to me and I'm still feeling joy, right? Like this is the thing, you can have joy in all situations. This is where connection happens. This is where intuition lives. You can't really be stressed out and have intuition at the same time. Am I right? Like one is really heady or anxiety and an intuition don't really play together very well. You're either in one or the other. So this is where you can, it can really hold you back, right? If you're not aware where your energy levels are and you're not mastering your energy, you are not taking control and learning how to move your energy and where to go it based on your thinking and your thoughts and your feelings, then you're going to miss out on some opportunities, right? You're going to miss out on some things. You're going to miss out on flow, connection, being calm, right? This is where, and I know you all have been here, because I know some of you, and I know you operate in this space sometimes where it's like, I'm inspired, I'm in the flow, I'm just like, you're just moving and grooving. This is where you're like the master manifester. You're like, oh my God, I totally manifested that because of how you're feeling, right? And you're like, the universe is just setting me up and it's supporting me. And it's like, whoa, that's level 6. When you can see the bigger picture and you're like, I can see the whole thing. And you know, you have deeper wisdom, right? This is all level 6. Level 1 and 2 is the inner mean girl in your head, criticizing you, taking you out. Level 6 is the wisdom in your heart and the deeper soul intuitive space, right? It's a different energy, right? You can stay here. You can choose to go here. Oh, this is the everyone wins, always wins. Everyone wins. Level 7 is the creator. This is the space where you get unconditional love. This is where the innovators are. This is the place of the pioneers, the genius, where someone has that genius level. This is where, like Steve Jobs, right? When he's in that space of absolute passion and creativity, and there's no winning and losing. This is actually Steve Jobs likes level 6. And then level 7 is more that unconditional love. This is the space of like, oh, where you get that like godly like feeling of where Jesus and Buddha were, right? Where all the great spiritual teachers, they're in this place a lot. Non-judgment. There is no thought, there's no judgment, right? Where it's like, where the thought is non-judgment. So it's not right or wrong. It's not, it just is. It just is. This is the being, the true being. This is where creation happens. Winning and losing are illusions. Okay? So how do you show up? How's this resonating with you guys so far? Give me some feedback here. Dalai Lama, yes, that would be level 7. I'm gonna look for my notes really quick so I can go over these 7 levels of energy in traffic. Pop in some notes there. Show me how you're feeling. What's resonating for you? How's it coming off? Any questions? Okay. I am not finding my list. Okay. So let me review. Interesting. I've been in level 6. Want to go there again? Yeah. So when you're in level 6, how do you know, Julie, that you're in level 6? Tell me how you know personally. Dang it. You're in level 6. I feel like bounce. Okay, Amanda. I feel like you bounce around. These different. Yeah, you are going to bounce around, Amanda. But the question is, are you bouncing by choice or by default, right? Anastasia, want to manifest, breaking chains of codependency. I want to stay humble. All while manifesting. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Looking back, I don't quite understand that, Julie. Amanda says, like I'm lower on my career, but with my marriage, I'm higher. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Different areas are resonating differently. That makes perfect sense, Amanda, because again, remember that when you are, what your thought is, okay, your thought is going to drive the energy. So how you're looking at your marriage versus how you're looking at your career, right? So you're like a 3 or 4 on your career, but where are you on your marriage, right? So Julie, but feel like I knew exactly what I had to happen. I had a vision. No question was too hard. It was a big event. I could figure out. Yeah. So it's like you had a knowing, right? Julie, you had like this deeper knowing. There's no questioning it. There's no fear, right? Because in levels 1 and 2, you got a lot of fear. And the higher levels of 6 and 7, there's not a lot of fear. There's no fear. Yeah, no fear. Lots of fun. Yes, lots of fun. In these higher levels, you have fun. So if you're not having any fun, it's because you're hanging out in levels 1 and 2. Okay? Melissa, I've been at bliss. I need to find my purpose. I don't know what type of career I would be good at now. Leave my codependency behind, allowing behaviors and not enforcing them without diplomacy. Yeah. So I'm hearing some themes in here around codependency, and we'll talk about that here at the end. We have some time here. Because you guys are right, that's going to play a huge role in a lot of things because it's going to affect your belief systems, right? And how you are operating and what you believe. So in these, how you show up, okay, I don't have my notes, but I'm going to try to roll through the levels anyway. So level 1, so this is how you would show up through the levels in traffic. Okay, we'll just use traffic as an example. And you could do this levels like 1 through 7 with like masks, right? Like you could do it with anything that's showing up around what's happening right now or in your own life. But level 1 in traffic, this guy on the left here that you can see, he's like pissed off, right? Level 1's gonna be like, you jerk. or no, a level 1 would be, this always happens to me, like you're on a freeway and you hit traffic and it's stuck and all the lanes are going by you. This always happens. I picked the wrong lane. Now I'm going to be late. I should have left earlier. I suck. This is horrible. I'm never going to make it. This is level 1 energy. Okay. Level 2 is, look at that idiot. He cut me off. Screw him. Like the road rage, right? Bleep, bleep, bleep. All the things come out. You're a jerk, you're an idiot, that must be a Republican, or that must be a Democrat, whatever your anger is going to come out as, right? Because they're this, right? That's a level 2. So I want you guys to check yourselves, okay? As you're learning about this energy, how are you even, like, when you go on Facebook and you're searching and you're looking through all these posts and all that, how are you showing up in your own head around things that you're reading? Because maybe you're not articulating, you're not voicing it out loud and saying things to people or typing things in like a keyboard warrior, but you're thinking them, and that's affecting you, okay? That is going to affect your energy. And so that's going, has anyone ever had an instance where you were doing one thing with one person and had an experience, but then you go to another person, another experience, and you transfer that energy with you? So like in traffic, right? You could have a level 2 energy going all the way through traffic. You get home and you scream at the kids because you're pissed off and they didn't do anything, right? But you're pissed off because you've been in that level 2 energy. So if you're on Facebook and you're scrolling away and you're thinking all the thoughts and having all your judgmental opinions about everything, how you energetically move in that, and then you shut down the Facebook and you get off and you go do something with someone else, check your energy. Where are you at, right? Take responsibility for how you're responding in your energy. Otherwise, it'll unconsciously affect you. And this is why how you do one thing is how you do everything. Because if you're not consciously aware of where your energy is flowing, it's really going to have its effect. Let's see here real quick. You need to stay off of it, yeah. As far as Facebook, I feel you on that one. Okay, so level 3 would be like, okay, well, not sure what's going on there. Maybe that guy's got, you know, he's in a hurry. I'm okay, like, it's not a big deal. I don't know why he's acting like that, but I'm fine. Okay, that's a level 3. A level 4 energy would be like, wow, that guy just cut me off. Like, whew, hope he's okay. I hope everyone's all right. I hope he's not, you know, maybe he's going to the hospital or something. Maybe his wife's having a baby. Like, I hope he's okay. That's a level 4. I know who acts like that in traffic, right? Some people do. Level 5 energy would be the win-win. Like, hey, all right, he's having his thing. I'm doing mine. It's all good. Like, we're all doing our own thing. I'm living through. I got my sunroof open. Life is good. He's in a hurry. He can be in a hurry. Like, everything's fine. We're all just doing traffic our own way, right? Level 6 would be more of like, wow, this is great. Like, I get to practice patience in this time. I get to like have this space of, you know, we're all just here. We're all flowing in the traffic. Like, isn't it great to be in traffic and not stuck at home anymore? And this is an opportunity for me to listen to my podcast and just do, you know, just to exist here. It's great, right? Level 7 would be like, what traffic? There's no traffic. It's all an illusion, right? Not too realistic, but it can happen. Okay, so now that you know these things, let's go back to the beginning. What's your strategy? And Melissa, this is what you were asking. How do I shift? How do I get out of these lower energy levels when I know I'm there, right? So if you want to change your pattern of behavior, you've got to be aware. You've got to stop, you've got to breathe, and you've got to be the observer of your thoughts. I cannot stress this enough, that your energy is following your thoughts. So you've got to be aware of them. You've got to become an observer. This is where meditation can play a huge role in your life. The reason there's a lot of different reasons to meditate, but one reason to meditate is so that in this type of situation, you're learning how to become an observer of your thoughts. You can identify your thoughts, you can see them coming in, and you can look at them and listen to them without judgment. You just learn to observe them. It's when you come in with judgment that you get kind of jammed up. So you stop, you take a deep breath, and you're like, okay, what am I thinking? How am I thinking it? And then you can choose again, right? So what's the thought I'm having about the situation? So I want you to go back. Julie, this would be about you, like going back to the beginning when we were talking about with work. I want you to look at the situation that you're in or any circumstance that you're currently struggling with. What is the thought you're having about the situation? If you don't have one, think about like COVID, right? Or this particular pandemic, or maybe school. Like some of your parents, and they're trying to decide, will the kids go back to school? What will it be? What's the thought you're having about the situation? And why are you having it right now? Okay, so if you're triggered, if you're in a triggered state, what's the real reason I'm triggered? Okay, is it something that happened before that again, you're carrying the energy forward into this circumstance? Or is it triggering an old wound for you? Is it triggering a belief system in you? Like somebody said something to you on social media and you are triggered. Why are you triggered? Okay, this is where you come up around like money beliefs, right? Or scarcity mindset, or somebody said something and you interpreted that as a offense, okay? So what I want you to think about is all these energy levels are like lenses. You guys remember those little, some of you might be too young for this, but they used to have they're called the viewfinder, where you'd stick the little disc in, it's a toy, you'd stick the disc in and you'd look through the hole, and then there was a little lever and you go shink shink and it would shift the view. And then you go and you hit the lever again and it would turn the dial on the card and change the view of what you're looking at, right? It's the same thing. How you're perceiving the world is going to dictate how you're showing up. Okay, let me repeat that. How you're perceiving the world, the lens in which you're looking through, based on your thoughts, your beliefs and your thoughts, is how you're going to show up and how you feel. So if I say to you, for instance, people need a lot of help, is that a statement that you would agree with? Yes, they do need some help. People need a lot of help. Would you strongly agree with it? Or would it be like, they don't need a lot of help? Okay, that's going to change the level of energy. So if you say people need a lot of help, and you're like, yeah, they do. People suck. They cannot figure stuff out. They're stupid. They're idiots. Like, they need help. What level is that? That's level 2. Okay? People don't need help. They can figure it out on their own. They're capable. People are smart. They're intelligent. They can figure it out. They don't need my help. That's more of a level 4, level 5, right? Again, it's all in how you're perceiving it. Melissa, trigger old energy, people's perceptions of me, words and actions that have hurt in the past coming up. Yeah, yes. Julie's triggered because it's already 5 p.m. It's not fair. Exactly, right? So it's how you're perceiving it. And that's what's going to dictate how you feel. Okay, Melissa, go ahead and unmute yourself. You have a question?
How do you getting out of the pattern? It's like a circle. I would call it a spiral, that when I get forward and I get in a space of that, hey, I'm doing well, and then it's like I notice something in a behavior pattern that takes me backward in a spiral, and then it's kind of like, and I let it affect me too much when it's not my actions, it's somebody else's. And to manage that trigger of my own is really difficult, because it's their actions, not mine, but it's something that is inside of me, that is subconscious, that affects me emotionally, and it comes out.
Right. So a couple of things you said here. So a couple of things that are going on here. You're right in that it's subconscious, right? So one way that you help heal that is through subconscious programming, right? So it's learning what belief systems or what beliefs are causing the triggering. I'm not good enough, whatever. It's usually what it comes down to, right? I'm too much or not enough. Mm-hmm. You reprogram those thoughts. You reprogram those beliefs. That takes time, takes effort, takes energy, like all the things. Also, one thing to remember is self-compassion. So one thing you said, you spiral. The thing is, we're always spiraling. Life is a spiral. We're either spiraling down or we're spiraling up. I
Yeah,
think what happens,
I'll go up and then something triggers me and I'll go like this.
yep. And then, but the thing is, do you stay there? When you come back down, do you stay there?
I really try to I really work at getting back up. It just takes me longer than I feel like. See, I'm my worst enemy when it comes to this. I am so hard on myself. It's like, I want to be better now. I want it to be done because I know I'm better than this.
Right. Okay. So I would say right there, that awareness that you are your hardest on yourself, that's the work. Okay. So it not necessarily is the work of, yes, it's the work of the trigger, because you're doing that work, right? You identify the trigger and you can identify it and say, okay, what's triggering me here? Is it the stuff that you're just pissed off at yourself because you got triggered? Or are you saying to yourself, okay, yeah, of course you're triggered. That's an old wound. And you know that's a trigger, but how you want to respond to the trigger? Do you want to be calm? Do you want to choose like, okay, this is my feeling and this is how I feel? And you might be like inside going, brrr, but it's taking deep breaths, right? It's breathing, becoming aware, and then choosing the new thought that you want to, that takes you out of it. It's when you hang out in that lower energy, that's when you're doing the detriment to yourself, right? And being critical on yourself and criticizing like, I should be better, I should know better, this shouldn't take so long. That's keeping you in those lower energies. It's trapping you in that victim mindset.
Well, yeah, I just turned 45 and I was like thinking, I'm really behind on everything in comparison to everybody else. And that's what I do is I'm like, I'm old, I'm getting old, and where am I?
So that's right there. So I'm getting old, like in comparison to everybody else. What's another way you can think about that?
I have an opportunity to learn something and gain new knowledge in this space that I'm in.
Yes. Right? So do you feel the difference in that energy? I have an opportunity here to do whatever I want.
Yes.
I have an opportunity. And you can also look at your past, right? And say, well, I'm too old. I'm not where everybody else should be. For one, when we go into that space, and I know we're at time, but I'm going to go over. So if you need to hop off, feel free to do that. But I'd encourage you to stay another 10 minutes or so. But if you are in a space where you can, I just lost my train of thought. You can shift into the place of self-compassion, right? You don't want to stay in the energy that is creating more of that energy. And that's what I was saying. When you look back, so it's all that comparison piece, right? We compare and we compare. I'm not where they are. You know what, you guys? Like, that's the worst thing that we can do to ourselves. That is catabolic energy. When we're sitting in comparison, that's catabolic energy, because we don't know. We're judging someone else's path based on the exterior of what we see, or our own guidelines of, well, I should have a degree, or I should be making more money, or I should have a house. Well, guess what? You can lose all of that too. You can get it all and then lose it all, because I've done that, right? Not the degree, but like the house and the things and the kids and all these things. And then you've arrived, but then you can lose it. So to compare ourselves to other people is going to keep us in a catabolic energy. It's going to keep us in the, I'm not good enough, I don't matter, I'm not measuring up, like all those things. And when you can identify that you're in that space with yourself, that's where your power lies. Okay, when you're in it unconsciously and you're just going through it and you feel like crap and you're like, I don't feel good, blah, 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 and you're just in that spinning around, you're not conscious, you're unconscious. So it's becoming conscious and to say, okay, hold on a second, time out. What am I thinking right now? It's always going to dial back to your thinking. Okay, it starts with your thoughts. That's what's creating the emotion. We don't always catch the thought. Most of the time we're catching the emotion way down the track, right? So it's identifying the emotion. Okay, what am I feeling? You can even look at it in the energy scale, right? The energy, am I feeling like, how does it, and you don't even have to identify it with words. You can just tap into how it feels. Do you feel light, open, and expansive? Or do you feel collapsed, contracted, and pressed? That's the difference between the two energies. and what can take you to a space of feeling more expansive. And Melissa, you said it, what's the opportunity? Okay, one question you can ask, what's possible? That can help you shift in an instant. I'm pissed off, okay, what's possible? That's gonna help you shift right away. And it doesn't mean that you're gonna jump. So a lot of times we think we're gonna go from, this level 1, we're gonna go, like we're down here in level 1 and 2, and we're just gonna be like, bing, and jump all the way up to like 4, 5, or 6. Sometimes you gotta climb through the energies a little bit. You have to shift your way through. You have to first take responsibility, right? So if you find yourself in level 1 and 2, you identify that and say, okay, I'm going to take responsibility. How do I want to respond here? What's my choice? And eventually it gets easier and it does get more into pattern. But right now, if this is all new awareness for you and you're just learning all this, or you're just coming to the awareness that, okay, I have a choice here and I can choose how I'm going to show up, then be patient with yourself. Give yourself some self-compassion and be, grateful that you're even identifying it and seeing it and wanting to shift it. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay, good. Awesome. So that's the awareness around how you're feeling and why you're acting because of it. Okay, and taking responsibility from there. Okay, so what's next? So now that you know this, you have a method for identifying it. And what I want to do, this is where I'm going to give you an offer here. This is definitely there's no obligation here. I just want to tell you what's possible for you so that you can make a conscious choice. If you wanted to continue working with me in some way or fashion around this, we have a tool that is absolutely phenomenal, and it doesn't require long-term coaching. It's a one and done thing, but it can paint a picture for you that would really accelerate your coaching. And Amanda, I know you're having a conversation right now, but I'm going to ask you a question here in just a moment because I want you to chime in on this energy leadership thing. Because Amanda has taken the assessment. So what's possible in this space of understanding these energies and this energetic leadership is it's transformational. It really can help you grasp a hold of your consciousness levels and move through things quicker and easier. It helps eliminates the resistance and the inner blocks and stopping you from holding you back. You can consciously redesign your beliefs. Okay, like I was saying there, Melissa, a belief is founded through thought. Okay, when we're little, ages 1 through 7, and I wish I'd known more of this as a mom when my daughter was younger. That's when we're learning. That's when our subconscious programming. We are basically in a hypnotic state, in our brainwave state. So when you have littles around you, they're in a hypnotic state. So if you have suffered from abuse, or you're having things happening to you in your childhood, you don't have the ability to rationally think through that. You don't have a prefrontal cortex developed. So everything is just being poured in, right? And just the programming's happening. And so current day, you can shift those beliefs by thinking new thoughts and doing them over and over and over again. And that's how you would do it. You would shift through and create a new consciousness level, a new belief based on your thoughts. So it's the ability to consciously recognize if you're at the effect or at the cause of the circumstances in your life. Okay? You have the ability to see opportunities and other problems. Others see problems. Okay? So it's, again, you're shifting your energy. You're able to control and master the energy and move the energy for you. The other thing around this too, I didn't mention earlier, is when you start to shift your energy, you shift other people's energy around you. Amanda, I'm gonna go forward here. So, well, really quick. So I wanna have you jump in here in just a moment. So there's 3 ways that you can work with me. I do the energy leadership assessment index and the assessment, and then we do a debrief session. I work in small group coaching as well, and then I do one-on-one coaching. What I wanted to show you guys today and talk about a little bit more is this energy leadership assessment. Because what this is not just like a test or a personality test. Like a lot of us have taken a dozen personality tests, right? I am in ENFP, whatever, right? This is different. This is a very subjective test or assessment, excuse me. It's not a test, it's an assessment. that's going to give you a true snapshot of where you are in your consciousness levels. It's going to show you subjectively, based on your responses, on how you're showing up in the world, how you're perceiving the world. And it's going to show you in your energy levels, in your regular day and day, and it's also going to show you in your stress levels. Amanda took this assessment a while back, about a year ago, I think now. And Amanda, I'm wondering if you'd be willing to share,
Control yourself.
if you remember this assessment, what it was like for you. You took this, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Can you remind me what a question on there might be?
Well, it would be like the one I said earlier around like people need a lot of help.
Okay. So I remember taking a couple ones, like, I know I'm coming off of my friend, we're here together, so her camera is like picking up my sound.
Don't hang up mine, I'll just watch yours.
Yeah, just,
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I felt like, I think taking any of the assessments on, like all I remember from is I remember feeling attacked sometimes, like with the questions, and defensive. Like I felt like I wanted to explain myself instead of just answering, you know, like, so that's, and it, you know, so like feelings like that would come up as I was going through them.
Once you got your results though, how was that for you and how you were showing up and what you saw?
I can't remember that part. Like
Or even
so,
just through the coaching, through energy coaching and through learning how your energy, how you were showing up, how it was affecting your marriage,
yeah.
even,
Okay.
right? And how
So,
you shifting has affected people outside of you.
yeah. So for me, I was very like a micromanager, and I don't know if like there's a lot of chaos in my childhood, so I grew up and trying to control things around me to create less chaos for myself. And so that's, for me, that's kind of how I guess I showed up, was just trying to take control of the things that I thought maybe would make my life better. And it was just making things worse, really. So is that what, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember the answer. So kind of that's what, and then now, so with my husband specifically, that was where I was having the most problems at the time, was in my marriage. And I felt like everything was his fault and he was the reason why our lives sucked and, you know, all that stuff. And so I guess I figured out that I wasn't showing up for myself. I was expecting all this stuff from the outside, and I was not doing anything or showing up for myself. And something clicked at some point, and once I figured that out, I realized, kind of, I mentioned this the other day, like my life was my life. Like I have control. I have my life and I can do whatever I want in my life, and I don't need permission from my husband to be happy or to get a job or do it. And not that he was making me feel like that. I was just expecting him to make me happy in these ways. And once I started doing that and stopped bugging him about my happiness, he kind of, I think that gave him room also to figure out and be who he wanted to be. And then it opened up all these conversations. And so I guess before I wasn't really showing up for myself. I was just trying to control everything around me to make it how I needed it to be. And then now I'm just doing what I need to do for myself to make myself happy. And then it's kind of making everybody else happy around me. I'm still figuring that stuff out, but
yeah, because so to recap, you guys, so what she said here, and I want to illustrate to you the levels of energy. So what she was saying, if you heard her, she was saying that she was in level 2 a lot. right? She was blaming her husband, and she was like, it's his fault. He's not making me happy. That's a level 2 or level 1 even, right? No one loves me. No one takes care. No one's doing what I want them to do. Like, why are they doing this to me? Victim energy, right? A lot of catabolic energy in there. And when she took responsibility, as she said, for herself, and she's like, I need to make myself happy. I need to do things for me and take responsibility for things I knew it was my job to make me happy. She got up into level 3. And once she got into level 3, things kind of opened a little bit. It wasn't so constricted. Things were opening, and the energy became more expansive. And therefore, when we are in an energy, we all have energy, right? When our energy shifts, it can affect other people around us, and it can affect their energy to shift. So that's essentially what happened, is that she started shifting her own energetic field, so to speak, or her own core energy, and that in result had a ripple effect into her family. And now they're all winning more, right? They're all more happy. They're all enjoying things better. They're all feeling more fulfilled, simply because she decided to raise her energy level and take more responsibility for her life rather than putting it on somebody else. So thank you, Amanda, for that illustration.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you guys, how that how it really can play out for people? And so this assessment basically is normally $197, and I'm giving you guys 20% off for being here, and that's $155. This is going to get you the assessment itself, and then a 60 to 90 minute debrief on your personal results. Everybody's results are going to be different. Again, it's not a cookie cutter answer. It's not like, okay, it really deals with an algorithm on how you're answering the questions. And so when you answer the questions fully, like, I'm not going to manipulate these answers. I'm going to really answer them as honestly as I possibly can. You're going to get the truer assessment as to where you are. And awareness, again, is everything. So this assessment itself, when I do it with my clients, it takes months off the coaching, because we can dive right in and, you know, okay, where are you at? And it gives them a better understanding of where they're sitting. Okay. And then another way you can work with me is I am accepting one-on-one clients right now. So you can go to my website, stacyyardley.com, book a discovery call. Those are free, about 30 minutes. And we would just talk about, what are you up against? What are you battling? And how can I help you? And are we a good fit? And that's what a discovery call is for. You can also just book with me. And if you like want to hire me or whatever without talking more, we can talk about that too. I'm also going to be starting a group program soon. So if this is something that interests you, we'll be bringing in energy leadership around it. But if this is something that you're like, ooh, I want to let me know.
I like even just talking about.
I can put you on the wait list for that, to be notified when that comes up. Okay. Let's see. That is all. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to ask Melissa what's up, because she's got her hand raised.
Actually, that was an accident. So if I had screen, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's totally okay.
So
yeah, go ahead.
The one-on-one you said with the discovery call, and then the one-on-one coaching. How long does it last, and how in depth is it?
For the one-on-one coaching? So typically my clients start with 3 months. We start with a 3-month base working with you, and then we work through the core values and who you are, and do the energy leadership assessment, and then we just go from there. Most of my clients run anywhere from 3 to 6 months is about the average. 6 months is about the average. Some go up to 9 months, and then they start trickling off into just kind of like maintenance calls, because I don't want people, my goal is to get you empowered to do, you know, whatever you need to do. I don't want to be that lifetime therapist type coach that, like, I have you forever and you're always dependent on me, right? My goal is not to help codependent women become codependent on me. Like, that's not what I want. So that's how it works.
Like, I've been going to counselors for so long that I keep asking the same questions of each different counselor, and it's not going anywhere.
Right. That's because, yeah, and the reason for that, I'm going to interrupt you, Melissa.
I do the work, it just isn't working for me.
Well, it's because you're And there's nothing wrong with therapy. Therapy has its role to play, and therapy is for healing and looking at our past and our wounds of the past and and why we are the way we are. Coaching is different. Coaching takes you from a place of functioning into a place of thriving. Therapy takes you from a place of dysfunction into function. So if you're in a place where you're like, I'm dysfunctional and this is really messing me up or whatever, and then you're like, okay, I need to go see a therapist to get my shit straight, that's how you go to therapy. And because you can work with a therapist and a coach at the same time. Essentially, one brings you to the present, one brings you into the future. A coach will bring you from where you are to move you forward to where you want to go. A therapist is really just going to help you, like you're saying, chew and chew and chew and chew, and just chew and chew and chew and chew.
I'm tired of chewing. I'll be honest, I'm really tired of chewing.
Yeah, so it sounds like, you're ready for taking action, right? So that's what a coach does. A coach gets you to a place of awareness to where you are in your consciousness. And then at least this is what I do. And then we move you forward from a place of being. So I work from differently than other coaches. Thank you, Katie, for coming. I'm glad you were here. Hopefully it was helpful for you. The thing about a coach, or the way that I work, is I work from a place of being versus doing. And a lot of coaches will act more in a way of consultant, where they're telling people, do this, do that, do this, do that, and just follow and tell you what to do. I don't do that. I empower you from a place of who you are. So I help you dial into a core being of who you are and your values. And when we work with you in your values, that's where you operate from in your being. So who are you? And then what are you doing from that being? And that's where the beauty is, because that's where the sustainable change happens and the action that happens when you're in alignment with who you are versus trying to hustle your way to your worth. It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. It's not sustainable, for sure. Great question, Melissa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so any other thoughts or takeaways that you'd like to share? Why don't you pop in the comment box your favorite takeaway from today, what you learned or what you can take with you. Did it help you? Was it helpful in awareness or shifting? Love to hear your thoughts. No takeaways? You can unmute yourself and just tell me your takeaway too.
So Anna, here is. So what really resonated with me was consciously redesign our thoughts, because often when we're in that fight or flight or that moment of panic, we're just reacting and coming back to ourselves and giving ourselves that opportunity to be recognized, even if it is just by yourself. That's the most important person to be recognized by. So that was really important to me to hear that tonight. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, you're welcome. Yes, great takeaway.
Oh.
All right. Anybody else? Last call. Melissa says her takeaway is, I deserve more to move forward, and my spiral down is going to go up. Yes. Yeah. Don't beat yourself up for spiraling down. Just acknowledge it and go, oh, ha, there I am. I get to choose to get out of this pattern and move right out of the pattern, right? And if you got to walk away, if you got to do something and you're like, I don't want to look crazy, well, you can look crazy or you can feel crazy. Which would you prefer? I'd prefer to look crazy than to feel crazy, right? Like, I don't want to be freaking out. So sometimes I have to just stop and get a hold of myself and breathe. Be like, and the other person might react. It happens all the time in my house. Well, you're mad. Da, da, da. No, I'm not. I'm thinking. I'm processing, right? Because people can get we have a very reactive society where a lot of people pleasing going on. Okay. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. I'm going to set you free here. I appreciate your time. Again, reach out to me if you have any other questions or want to book an appointment. do an assessment, and just to learn more where you are in your consciousness levels to help you shift yourself. Again, we go through that whole detail on that assessment and work that out for you to empower you really to move forward stronger and healthier. Okay? All right. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.